Attention! If you or a loved one have been exposed to things you don't like, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Exposure to things you don't like at home, school, or in the workplace may put you at risk of emotional and physical trauma, dramatically impacting your happiness and quality of life. Just ask Carl.
I'm a low-level employee at a book publisher. When I heard that they were going to publish a book by best-selling author Jordan Peterson, who is literally Hitler, I didn't know what to do. So I cried. I know it's ironic that my company also published Mein Kampf by literally Hitler, but rest assured, I would have cried back then too.
Bukowski and Walker has a proven track record fighting for people exposed to things they don't like. Here's what Martin has to say.
I knew that a point of view I disagreed with had no business being on the op-ed page. That's not what I signed up for when I took a job at the New York Times.
Call now for a free legal consultation and soothing informational packet. We also do mesothelioma. You're listening to Questionable Material, produced in New York by Jack Helmuth and Brian Sack. QMpodcast.com. Affordable amusement park.
Hi, I was wondering if I could ask about your safety record?
You can ask about it, sure.
Okay. Well, obviously, my number one concern with an affordable amusement park is the safety of your rides and the training of your staff. I was wondering what sort of documentation you have and can provide me so I can be comfortable bringing my family there.
Well, it's in our documentation locker. And unfortunately, Sandra has the key.
Well, why? That shouldn't be that unfortunate. Just have Sandra come on down and open up the locker.
Yeah, but unfortunately, she was on her honeymoon in Thailand.
Okay.
And because of, obviously, the COVID crisis, she's been unable to fly back and open up our document locker at Affordable Amusement Park. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about our safety record.
Okay. And so she hasn't been able to finagle her way into the country like, in the summer when COVID was really down and people were able to travel again?
I can't answer that question. That is a question that only Sandra can answer. But I'm happy to answer any of your safety questions or to tell you about our exciting new ride.
Okay, well, already, I would prefer this phone call to be more fun.
Yep.
Then, yeah, I'd love to hear about your new ride.
Well, Douglas has a wheelbarrow and we have a hill. And I can imagine you know where we're going with this.
I think I do, yeah.
Douglas is at the top of the hill with the wheelbarrow. You, and if your kids want to come along, you have a seat in that wheelbarrow and you are going to have a very fun and very affordable ride down that hill.
Oof, yeah. What sort of safety record do you have in Douglas's wheelbarrow?
It hasn't been officially tested. Douglas tried to test it himself, but obviously with no one to lift and push, he didn't get very far.
Of course.
But let me compare our prices to those of, say, Disney World. You're going to pay a fortune. How many kids do you have?
Two.
So 2 kids, mom, dad, 4 people for a full day at Disney World, plus the hotel. It's a fortune, isn't it?
Easily $1,000 a day.
Exactly. So where we come in is we're $8.73 a day.
That's way less money.
And the lodging is much cheaper.
Well, I was thinking about staying at the Polynesian Resort. What sort of lodging can I get with you guys?
Winnebago Island.
Okay, interesting.
Technically not an island.
Oh,
but
not sure why you'd call it that.
It's got a culvert that goes around 3/4 of it.
Oh.
And what you're going to find is an exotic village, a Polynesian village even, of Winnebagos.
Oh. Is that the first time you've ever called it Polynesian?
It sounded like you were looking forward to something Polynesian, so I thought I'd toss that in there.
Okay, for no real reason.
Yeah, but we could have Margaret do a hula.
It sounds like you have a dynamic staff.
She's an improvisational performer.
Oh,
she comes from
nice.
the world of New York performance art. I don't know if you know her work. She once gave birth to a gourd. That was one of her routines, and it was really phenomenal. I mean, she got written up in the New York Times.
Oh, I don't remember that. Did she work in the adult entertainment industry?
No, she's a performance artist. She was working at galleys throughout Manhattan. and really had quite the following.
But through shooting gourds out of her vagina?
I wouldn't say shooting, but birthing them. Yes, it was a phenomenal celebration of womanhood and childbirth.
Okay. So what would her hula dance consist of? Because I am in the Polynesian mood. I sort of had that in my mind as a thing that's going to happen.
Well, as soon as we get the confirmation that you're on the way, she's going to bone up on the hula. I assume Mulan or something does it in that movie, and she'll just download that and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, Mulan is it's more Asian.
And, if it's shooting gourds out of you, then, I mean, we are already there.
I mean, I haven't seen Mulan in a couple months, but I'm pretty sure that scene is not in there.
I haven't seen it. I won't watch Disney films.
Oh, why not?
Because I hate The Mandalorian.
Why do you hate him or that show?
I don't like people who look like Boba Fett.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's not the show for you then. How old is she, real quick?
Mulan?
No, the gourd shooting hula lady.
Oh, she is 43.
43. Okay.
So still quite easy on the eyes.
Okay.
And she's working on a menopause performance.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
What does that consist of?
She's going to dabble her face with a cloth and look like she's sweating. And then she's going to walk around the room saying, "I've got cramps."
Oh, okay. That sounds like great performance art.
Wow, she's one of the best. I'm amazed we actually got it.
I was sort of looking forward to getting my picture taken with Mickey and Minnie.
Oh, we can do that. Sure.
Oh, what? You guys have Mickey and Minnie?
Well, we have Festival Mouse.
What is Festival Mouse?
Well, that's what the costume was called when we bought it at Spirit Halloween Store's 40% off sale that happens the day after Halloween. There's Festival Mouse and Festival Mouse Bride.
Oh, Festival Mouse Bride.
Yes.
Okay. What do they walk around the park doing?
Well, they'll just come up and put their arms around you, and you can take photographs, and they're only $5 a piece. And my son, Ernesto, he's got a photo printer. And so as you're leaving our affordable amusement park, he'll be at the end of the driveway with a printout. You're welcome to buy. You're not obligated. You can look through any of the pictures that have been taken throughout the day, and you can order as many as you'd like.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like a way to make money, I guess. What other rides do you feature?
We have the F-2 fighter bomber ride.
Oh, there we go. Tell me more about that.
Well, what we did was we took a cable and we tied it between an oak tree and a maple.
Okay.
And we hung a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot from it. And what you do is you stand in the bucket, and then Douglas will grab the bucket and just kind of run you along the line as fast as he can go.
Okay.
So depending on the weather, I mean, if it's super rainy, it gets awfully muddy. So it's going to slow him down a little bit. So you just pretend your F-2 fighter bomber has an engine trouble.
Okay.
But if the weather's cooperated with us, then he's pretty good. He's fairly energized in the morning. He kind of peters out towards the end of the day as the day progresses, because obviously an 80-year-old man is not as energetic as they once were.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I see. I imagine he maybe struggles going fast these days.
Yep.
Okay. It seems like a lot is riding on Douglas.
He's definitely our most prized and valuable employee.
Okay. Interesting.
We have the haunted tool shed.
Oh, I'd love to hear about the haunted tool shed. Tell me more.
Well, we'll tell you the story right before you enter the haunted tool shed about old Commander Bixby. He was a Civil War commander, and he died in that tool shed, and it's haunted. And then we send you in there, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, but I'd like to know before my family goes in, what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, Douglas is in the corner under a tarp.
Okay. Well, what happens when Douglas reveals himself?
That's the thing. Sometimes he doesn't.
Is that where Douglas goes for his nap?
He gets awfully tired these days. But, you look around, you can see the scary rake and the haunted hoe and the hacksaw of doom. that's hanging in the tool shed. And you can just imagine what a violent monster would do with these horrible tools.
Cool.
Scary.
Yeah, no, it sounds pretty scary. How do I get to and from your amusement park from the airport?
We can send you the old DSS.
Oh, what's the DSS?
The Douglas Shuttle Service.
I had a feeling that's what it might be.
So we are about 1 hour from the airport normally. Douglas has one eye.
Okay.
And he's a little timid. He's been in a couple of fatal wrecks. So he drives fairly close to the speed limit. Usually 10 miles an hour under.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
But he's prone to panic attacks. So budget 3 hours to get here.
God. So Douglas's driving will cost us 2 hours.
But it's free.
It's going to take 3. That's free. I do have to keep that in mind in today's economy. You said he'd been in a number of fatal crashes. What are the circumstances of one of those? The one that really sort of is top of mind to you?
Well, it was a brand new ride at the Affordable Amusement Park.
Okay.
Called The Jeep is in Neutral. And
okay.
It's very similar to the wheelbarrow ride, except it was a Jeep on top of the hill. And behind it were 4 ropes. And the idea was you would hold on to the ropes and it would be kind of like water skiing as the Jeep went down the hill.
Right.
What we learned is water skiing is best done on the water.
Okay. Yeah.
So most of the people were able to let go of the ropes and were limited to minor fractures and abrasions. But one gentleman, he would not let go of that rope as the Jeep went careening down the hill. And, he lost the majority of his skin.
Well, that's a shame.
It is a shame. And you know what? We tried to make up for it. We tried to hire him for the haunted tool shed. I wouldn't say he refused, but I think when you're in shock.
So on the spot, you offered him the job. We
absolutely did. Yeah. Part of the reasoning was that if he worked for us, he wouldn't want to sue and bankrupt his employer.
Right. If he's dependent on you for his job, he's not going to do that.
Right. But we felt he gave us a no. And so the DSS gave him a free ride back to the airport.
We shouldn't have given him a free ride to the hospital?
He didn't articulate where he wanted to go. And we knew he came from the airport. So we figured we'll bring him back to from whence he came.
I suppose. Was he still alive by the time you dropped him off at the airport?
Some people treat being alive very differently. Some are vibrant and energetic, and other people are lying on the sidewalk outside of the airport with a crowd around them screaming. Everybody's different. Can I book you in the family?
Yeah, you could. Thanks.
Rebecca. How many? 4?
Yes, please.
Rebecca, 4. 2 adults, 2 kids?
Yes.
2 adults, 2 kids. Are you kidding? Oh, sorry. We're closed for COVID. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Brian.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we've gotten a lot more listeners.
We have. The numbers, the uptick in numbers has been incredibly heartening. I'm very excited about that.
I would even say delightful.
I would say delightful as well. We have, for probably 4 weeks in a row, we continue to break our previous week's record of most listeners. It's really awesome.
That is correct. So when you get more popular, you know what happens, Jack? People come to you.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
I have an agent for the podcast who has gotten us potential sponsors.
Yes.
They want you to read the script for their product or service. And, you just need to take it seriously. That's all. They want their product to be treated with respect. So please, no laughing and no losing yourself in the read.
Of course, that makes complete sense. Sponsors really want people to focus on the excellence of their product,
right?
And in exchange for the money, that makes total sense.
They want.
I won't break or anything.
They want, as they call it in the business, bang for their buck.
Yes, I've heard that.
All right. So, and they also want you to read it cold.
Oh, okay. Cold meaning I've never read this copy before.
You have not read this script before. This is the first potential sponsor script. So I'm going to send it to you and just open it up and you just read away. This is our first potential sponsor coming your way.
Just got it. All right, I am opening up the sponsor bit. This is so exciting. I can't believe this. Okay.
Go for it.
All right, I'll do you proud, Brian.
Thank you.
This episode of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian is brought to you by Crown Publishing Group, a subsidiary of Random House. Crown is thrilled to announce the release of a brand new book by President Barack Obama. A dragon named Squeaky follows the adventures of Squeaky, a dragon fierce for his fiery breath, but haunted by memories of people taunting his but haunted by memories of people taunting his micropenis. Join Squeaky on his adventure through the kingdom of Kazoo, a magical land filled with unicorns, wizards, witches, and Jews. Squeaky teams up with Chubby G, a rapping goblin with a heart of gold, but also a micropenis. God, the president's really obsessed with that. Together, Squeaky and Chubby G learn the true meaning of friendship. And that size doesn't matter. If you hook up with a halfling, it's President Obama's first foray into fantasy fiction, but certainly not his last. A Dragon Named Squeaky, available at all bookstores and all online booksellers. Use checkout code PP2 to save 10%.
Wow. Damn.
Why not? I could have probably handled that if I just had a little heads up about the micropenis thing.
Yeah.
Why?
It's not how the business works. It's just not how the business works.
I mean, publishing houses, especially on podcasts, spend a lot of money. Damn it. I'm not sure who that audience for that book would be.
I don't know, but we're not going to be appealing to them because we did not get that sponsorship gig.
Damn.
But it's okay.
Well,
I have another one. Here's the sound of another potential sponsor.
Okay.
Do your best.
All right. I just got it. And opening. Okay. This episode of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian is brought to you by Kinky Patriot, retailer of top quality patriotic bondage gear, sex toys, and lubricants. From stars and stripes ball gags to come and take it assless chaps, Kinky Patriot has everything you need to liven up your love life in the greatest country in the world. Everything sold at Kinky Patriot is made right here in America by Americans. No imported Chinese nipple clamps, no Indonesian gimp suits, just 100% made American-made penis cages and bump paddles for American citizens and legal permanent residents to enjoy. Kinky Patriot is veteran-owned and operated and donates 3% of their profits to militia groups. When making your first order, use promo code QM Podcast and get a complimentary America First vibrating egg.
Oh, bummer. Oh,
America First vibrating egg.
Yeah.
I mean, I love America.
Me too. Great place. So this is another potential sponsor. I'm sending it to you right now. Sound.
Okay. All right.
Boom. It's magical.
Boom.
It's amazing how quick this works.
It is pretty awesome.
Go ahead and read away.
This episode of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian is brought to you by Dr. Mengele's root beer, the unfortunately named root beer that has absolutely nothing to do with the Holocaust. Making root beer and not participating in the Holocaust has been a Mengele family tradition since 1886. Dr. Mengele's recipe is second to none, and his great-great-great-grandkids would love for you to associate the Mengele family name with their remarkable root beer and not heinous war crimes. A refreshing and invigorating root beer. With Dr. Mengele's, life's a little better. We know that doesn't sound right, but it does as long as you don't associate us with the Holocaust. Totally different family. You'll find Dr. Mengele's root beer in several German and Austrian specialty stores in the soda section next to the Coca Gurfels.
Oh, sugar.
Man.
It's a tough business. It's tough reading scripts cold.
I mean, what does this prove to the advertiser? Like, just have me read it ahead of time and I'll let me have multiple takes. I'll eventually get it.
I don't know how they think, but my guess is they want you to just take their product really seriously for the money they're putting up.
All right.
But there's another chance.
All right.
Here she comes.
Edit this out of the podcast, but can't you just lie and just say that I did it right and just give it to me ahead of time?
I can't do that to the audience. That's not fair to them.
Fine. Great. Here we go. This episode of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian is brought to you by Blorp, the ingenious card game by the people who brought you Uno. The rules to Blorp are simple. Draw 8 cards. If you draw a Bleeble or a Delig drop card, then immediately trade it with anyone who has a Diggy Wiggy. But watch out. If 2 players have a Glazbop, you might find yourself getting tweedled by whoever holds the Beelzebub. Use diplomacy and strategic alliances to prevent any players from hoarding all the Gazelgott cards. If you fail, then blame the Blorp, and it's time to drop your pants and prepare for the shunning. Blorp! Anywhere. Available anywhere Uno is sold.
Sugar. Blorp.
Blorp. No, don't say the name. If they're not going to pay us, don't we say that name again?
You're right. Let's never utter that game's name again.
What we haven't had in a long time is a good old-fashioned interview.
You're right, Jack. We have not had a good old-fashioned interview. And you know what I've learned in podcasting, Jack, is having interviews is really important because you interview people and then they talk about you to their fan base. So if you have a podcast and then you invite, say, some famous person onto your podcast and they go and tell all their fans, you increase your listenership with interviews.
Well, I think that's very likely going to happen here because I've actually gone ahead and booked someone really, really big for the podcast.
No kid. Let me see, a performer.
This is even better than a performer or a rock star or an athlete.
Scientist, famous scientist, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No. Maybe you're getting closer, but no, not really. None of those people and all their fans and everything would really move the needle for me. I have a hand sanitizing magnate.
Huh. No kidding.
Yeah. His name is Stephen Purell III, and he is the heir to the Purell Empire.
Wow. No kidding.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yes.
So I was so excited. I was thinking all about it, all over Thanksgiving is like, I'm going to get someone for the podcast. And this just came through. And so I've got him on the other line. And why don't we talk to him right now? Brian, what's wrong? Are you okay? Did you get hurt?
No. I made a tweet on Twitter and it was sarcastic and most people got it, but one person didn't. And I feel so bad that I didn't label it as clearly sarcasm. I feel like I've let everybody down. Oh,
maybe you just need to sack up.
No, I need to walk into the woods.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jack. I got to go walk in the woods.
All right, go walk.
I just need to
walk into the woods.
I just need to reflect because.
Go ahead. Okay, walk into the woods. I'll do it without you, Brian.
All right. I'm sorry, Jack. I don't want to get emotional, but you know how it is.
Oh, I know. It's really tough.
Oh, ask a lot of questions.
I will for you, Brian. That's great advice. Thank you.
Oh, look, a metal foot pad.
No, Brian, that's a bear trap.
Oh!
So much safer in our studio.
So much blood.
We're doing this over Zoom. I can't get there. There's nothing I can do.
The wings. I hear wings.
Oh, that's probably vultures and stuff who've realized that there's fresh meat and blood on the ground that you're probably going to pass away soon, Brian.
Ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, you covered that. You're shedding your mortal coil and repeating yourself. That happens.
Mommy.
Yes, you're seeing your mommy, who's also dead, and now you're joining her. Go quickly into the light.
Hitler.
Uh-oh. Ooh, guys, that's I'm sorry that y'all had to hear that. The vulture attack and the bear trap and everything. That's, gosh. I mean, it's. I'll say this: it's how Brian always wanted to go. So I want everybody to take comfort in that. In the meanwhile, I have Stephen Purell III. Everybody, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, you're quite welcome. I'm flattered that you would take the time out of your schedule to be here.
Well, it's always great to get out there and spread the message of Purell, isn't it?
Sure, I suppose so. This must have been a incredibly unique year for you and your company.
Absolutely. Our sales have increased by 18,000%, Jack.
That seemed like a lot. It seems like that would translate into a lot of buckaroos.
That has translated into tremendous financial success, Jack, and we have COVID to thank for it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Not a lot of people thanking COVID these days, but I suppose you guys are a little bit, huh?
It has been a greatly beneficial incident for our company, and we're quite happy to help society fight this dreadful virus.
Well, bless you, sir. Bless you for your service and for your work and for providing something that has kept a lot of families safe.
It has kept families safe, and it's kept families safe unlike any other quote unquote hand sanitizer, because I'll be honest, any other hand sanitizer than Purell is ineffective. And in fact, the reason we're seeing the spike that we're seeing now is because not enough people are using Purell. Certainly many, many, many people are using Purell, but there are Purell not users, we call them in the business, and they need to be addressed, don't they, Jack? Because they are the ones spreading this terrible disease.
Okay, so for example, I just looked really quickly. There's Slate hand sanitizer with aloe and vitamin E. There's Bath and Body Works, the original hand sanitizer spray. That's original, sounds good.
Eczema and psoriasis.
Eczema okay. Let's see here. I have Clean Hand Sanitizer by Anthropology.
Pimples and gout.
Dial Complete Foaming Antibacterial Hand Sanitizer.
Blindness and autism.
Microban 24-hour disinfectant sanitizing spray.
Yes, ear herpes. You can't trust any of these, Jack. You can trust Purell. We've been in this business for a long time. This is a family business. This recipe has been passed down for generations. We know hand sanitizer, Jack, and it has been a passion of ours, and we've done it through thick and thin. And even though it was never tremendously profitable until recently, we were quite convinced that we were in the right line of work. And we had our annual company gathering back in November in China, and we gathered all of our employees, and we had a big party to celebrate the future of this company. And as a reward to everybody, we got them all around in the same room, and we spent a good time together in very close proximity, a lot of tango dancing, a lot of waltzing. And then as a bonus for everyone in the company, we bought them first-class tickets to places all over the world.
Oh, like where?
Oh, we sent them anywhere. Italy, the Alps, Brazil, United States, Canada, Australia. We told them to get out there and spread the gospel of Purell. And by golly, they've done it.
That's great. And would you say that you super spreaded the joy?
We certainly spread the joy. We wanted our employees to be happy, and they were happy all over the world. They had a great time.
I'm curious about this company meeting. Why did you choose to go to China back in November, you said?
It seemed like a good place to be. Wuhan is a lovely city. They had a nice conference hall and a banquet room we thought we could gather everybody in. And it seemed like the right place at the right time.
Why did you choose Wuhan of all the provinces in China to go and have this retreat a year ago? Because the virus originated in Wuhan, is what the scientists tell us. And so there's something feels wrong about this. What were you doing there?
China has great broccoli. That was the place we wanted to be. And, you could suggest that perhaps the virus appeared there to try and get rid of us before Purell was able to save the world. Couldn't you?
I mean, you could say that.
Perhaps the virus is sentient, Jack, and knew that we presented a threat and did its damn well best to try to put us out of commission by giving all of our employees COVID as we sent them around the world. But they failed, Jack, didn't they?
Yeah. They may not have failed if you intentionally infected all of your employees with COVID and then sent them around the world to start a global pandemic to increase sales.
The fact of the matter is the Purell family has been making hand sanitizer for a long time, and our time has come. And we're here to help save the world, Jack.
I guess so. Okay. Well, then let's talk about the vaccine. Perhaps your day in the sun as America's and the world's savior is coming to a close, fortunately, because science has given us another way out. They've given us a vaccine that even Vice President Pence said today that could just be about 2 weeks away from being distributed here in the United States.
Yes,
that must be very exciting for you to hear, right?
Well, I think there's a reason why America voted out Pence in a landslide. It's because America doesn't want a vaccine, Jack. America knows that Purell is the answer.
That's definitely not what Americans were voting on.
This was a vote not anti-Trump or pro-Biden. This vote, Jack, was about Purell. It was about the future of hand sanitization and the people's acknowledgement in massive numbers, the biggest turnout in pro-hand sanitizer in the history of the United States, Jack. People overwhelmingly want Purell to save them.
They overwhelmingly do want COVID to be over. That's for sure.
And the only way, Jack, to guarantee COVID is over is by sanitizing your hands. And that means a Purell hand sanitizer station in every doorway, at every restaurant, at every store, on every street corner, Jack. That is how you conquer this virus, not some silly scientific vaccine that's thrown together. God knows what it'll do to you. It probably gives you all sorts of terrible diseases. Can't be trusted, Jack.
Well, I mean, like what's the worst that could happen if you take the vaccine? You're going to be safe from COVID. What else could go wrong?
Well, I'll tell you something, Jack. Purell has its own scientific wing. We conducted our own vaccine studies, and all our trial groups perished the minute they tried a vaccine. And the only thing we found that worked, Jack, was for the rats to continue to wash their hands in Purell.
Okay. And you injected them with the vaccine?
What we did was we gathered them all in a conference room and threw a little party for them. And there's a lot of waltzing and tango, a lot of close contact. And suddenly they all came down with it. And then we conducted our vaccine experiments and to great disappointment, and realized quickly that the only solution was Purell.
Okay. So you're saying that the vaccine for COVID is completely ineffective?
There's some reason to believe that it's got microchips in it, Jack. New World Order kind of stuff.
So you're saying that the vaccine for COVID has microchips in it to track people?
Bill Gates, quite overnight, installed 5G towers all over the country to shoot radioactive waves towards these microchips that will be implanted in your body if you take the vaccine. The fact of the matter is, Jack, I can guarantee you as a descendant of the Purell dynasty, we will never put microchips in our Purell hand sanitizer. You can trust us. There's no injection. You just squirt it on your hands. You carry it in your car, carry it in your purse, leave it in your desk at work, take it home. You want Purell everywhere in your life, Jack. Purell.
Well, my family and I were planning on taking the vaccine. I mean, does your study show any other sort of side effects?
It has resulted in leprosy, staggerism, memory loss, nausea, disorientation, bouts of anger as though they'd taken some kind of a steroid. It makes your neck shrink, early onset lesbianism.
What? That can't be a thing.
Well, we've created a whole wave of lesbians, Jack, and granted they're immune to COVID. But now they're all lesbians, and some of them are men, so it's very confusing for them.
I think you're just spreading false rumors.
What I want to spread is Purell on your hands, on my hands, and on the hands of America and the world.
Okay. What are your plans to ring in the new year? The new year is now just right around the corner. We're in December.
What we're calling it is the Shake Hands Initiative. And we think the best way to ring in a new year is to shake the hands of everyone around you. Now, of course, you don't want to just shake anybody's hand without sanitizing yours first. So what we're introducing is the Purell backpack. And much like a hydration system you'd wear if you were riding a bike, This is a Purell hand sanitizing system, and it runs two tubes down your arms to your hands, and kind of like Spider-Man, Jack, you can spray Purell from your palms.
Okay, that sounds dynamic. That seems like a fascinating new project launch. Good luck with that in the new year, sir.
Thank you very much, Jack, and I hope you have a happy new year. And remember to wash your hands and use Purell at all times. It's even better than bath water.
Stephen Purell III, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Jack, and thank you for using Purell.
Okay, I got it. It's Purell.
It's your only hope, Jack.
Okay. Well, that ends another fantastic edition of Questionable Material with Jack and Brian. Please follow us on your favorite social media sites that we're actually have bothered to be on. Facebook, Twitter, maybe Instagram now. Brian was here. I'd ask him.
Nope.
I just heard Brian's ghost say nope. And stay safe, everybody. We'll see you next week for a brand new episode of Questionable Material.
That was Questionable Material. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure to review the podcast. Make sure to visit qmpodcast.com for episodes, show notes, and bonus material.